Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors, your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. Glad you're here this morning. Got a great show lined up. But first, our weather is always brought to us by Haney Technical Center at the corner of Baldwin and Highway 77. It's going to be cold tonight. High today will be 65. Low tonight, we got 28 here on the coast, and all you viewers inland, we're going to get down really low around 25. So I don't know about y'all, when I get home from work, I'm going to build me a fire, and I'm going to keep throwing another log on the fire. It's just one of those nights I want to build a fire. And I got me some good fresh firewood that's good season, so I'm going to be I better not get a lot done tonight. Water temperature is still at 59 degrees, so keep that in mind. The big thing about that is just stay level now, and I'm going to bring the chart out for you next week, but it's been really level now for the last couple of weeks. River readings, again, speaking about being level now, that Apalachicola is staying about at this stage right here at a 8.3, and it's going to have a little slight drop to it, but it's not going to be a lot of movement this weekend if you're getting on the river. The Choctahatchee the same way. We mentioned this yesterday. We're getting ready for the weekend over there, and it's reading a 6.5 this morning, and it's not going to go much more than that this weekend. Tide chart brought to us by Kent, Forest Lawn Funeral Home and Cemetery. We're getting in some good tides here. We've got a low tide at 1:46 this morning and a high at 3:27. But now a lot of that's going to be negated by our marine forecast. That northwest wind is going to be kicking in today. It's going to be coming in about 4 miles an hour this morning, but it's going to kick on up to about 17 miles an hour by the time the afternoon gets around. Okay, so that takes care of our weather. I want to every about once a week over here I get to call Captain Blair Morgan with Blue Water Outriggers. Good morning, Blair.
Good morning, Winston.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good. I got a call. I get it every year when the pollen starts falling.
Yeah. Listen, well, you know, I hadn't got to talk to you last week or two. You've been busy hunting, and I've been busy doing stuff. So how's everything going over there?
Well, hunting season-wise this year, we had a rough year. Of course, we're hunting up around Tate Cell, and it's just a flooded swamp up there right now from all the rain we had. And they got all these sophisticated drainage ditches and all up there, you know, that somebody did, the Corps of Engineers, somebody designed. But the beavers have them all dammed up, so, you know, it's just backing water up in the place, so it's not, I mean, and nobody seems to care about the beavers.
You know,
they don't.
That's what's funny about that, Blair. Man, these engineers, and they're smart men, and they're good men that have good intentions. They do, like you say, they have all these elaborate plans, and here comes a little beaver now, and they got their own idea, and they stop it up.
Yeah, you know, the beavers are smarter than they are, too, because all the dams are on the south end of the Tate Cell where the water flows, you know, it all flows south. And so that's where they build the dams, and it just backs water up everywhere. So it's a flooded mess up there right now.
Oh, man. Well, I guess the guys on the four-wheelers don't like to go mudding and all that. I guess they're happy about it.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I know it's been a hit and miss season over here in this neck of the woods, and but we've had some really nice bucks sent in. Have y'all had a few bucks taken?
Yeah, Winston, we had really just a bad year, along with most everybody else up that way, until the last week they started rutting real big. Excuse me, the last week, and we kind of made up for some ground there, but you know, the hunting season, I mean, they just started rut. I mean, right when the season closed. So.
Yeah. Well, now I know the fishing, you mentioned it before we got on air, it's been pretty slow.
Fishing's been real slow. I will say this, there's up there, I know turkey season's coming up. Now, there's plenty of turkeys. Everywhere you go up there, you see turkeys. So
good.
That'll be a good spring turkey season.
Good. Now, what about, you're talking about you got some hogs on the Cape out there where you live. They still bothering you?
Yeah, I tell you what, there's hogs everywhere. Up there where we're hunting, there's hogs everywhere. And they're going to take over like the bears did. But, yeah, I come home, and the hogs root my yard up right here on the Cape. And I put a trap out, put corn in it. But they like my St. Augustine sod better than they do the corn. back and just, I mean, they rooting and it's a mess.
Well, you know, Blair, your granddaddy, Mr. Blair, and my granddaddy trapped hogs in the same area there around Lake Talcott many, many years ago, and they didn't have to worry about catching hogs, because when they put a little bit of corn in there, those hogs went in those pens, and they caught a bunch of hogs. But now they didn't have St. Augustine out there, up there in that swamp.
Yeah, I remember that, Winston. You know, I remember that real good. But for some reason, these hogs out here, and the thing is, I've got neighbors on both sides of me, you know, not close. I've got woods on both sides, but they're gone for the winter, and they're not messing their yards at all. But they don't have St. Augustine side either, so.
Well, they're going to come out with something like, you know, off of deer hunters, that come here deer. They're going to get something like come here hog, I guess, to put in these traps.
Well, they got all kinds of hog stuff, but the thing is, I don't want to bring any more in here. I want to get rid of the ones I got.
There you go. Well, all right, we're going to wrap it up, buddy. It was great talking to you, and hopefully you'll still get you something pretty soon.
All right, Winston, I appreciate it. Maybe we'll see you this weekend.
All right, take it easy. All right, let's got some Blair Morgan with Blue Water Outriggers. And down in St. Joe, great store, great folks down there. Hope to see them soon. Let's take our break and we'll be right back. All right, welcome back. Well, let's get into some pictures. We got some unique pictures today. Each one of the pictures has a story, as always, and that's what makes the Panhandle just one of the most interesting places in America. This first picture is taken at a shooting range. I know it's hard to see, but it's taken off of a phone. But what's unique about it, Bill Dozier sent this picture in, or had the secretary send it in, and these are two deer on the berm at the shooting range up here in Bay County, over there in West Bay. And what happened, the guys are firing away, but the shooters, it's at a 100-yard range, they can't see the deer because of these baffles, you know, these large mounds, these baffles and all. The deer cannot see the shooters. The deer do not know anybody's around because they're on top of that hill there, but they're hearing all this gunfire, and you know that you've been out of gun range, you know how much firing is going on, so they're not phased, but there's some rye all planted, and right here in the middle of the day. So that is unique. Neither one of them can see each other, so they're just oblivious to what's going on, but this guy took the picture. Thanks, Bill Dozier, for sending that in, buddy. All right, the next picture, let's go to some fishing. We'll talk about not a lot of fishing going on. There's some. Now, these sheephead, and these are got by giggers. These guys are gigging. Now, these three boys, two of them in my class, and one of them graduated last year. Three good outdoorsmen. This is Ricky Ramey, Steve Stopka, and Wes Stone. I know Ricky's dad works there at the Sheriff's Department. I know Steve's folks, and Wes Stone's dad is Sam, his granddad Thomas Stone. All these boys are local boys that just love to get outdoors. Went out Friday night about 6 o'clock, went gigging. But look what they gigged. They gigged a flounder. In fact, they gigged two flounder. One was not in the picture. They gigged two flounder. Now, who ever heard of gigging flounder in February? And they had a great night and had a good time. They didn't do it for a couple of hours and got a good mess of fish. Good job, boys. All right, now, this story, this is a story about this Kyle Pridgeon. And the neat thing about what Kyle did on this buck, he went out Sunday afternoon, about 5 o'clock, he said, to put corn in his feeder out there. He's had it going on all year, and he decided, well, had a little bit of time, he's going to get in his tree stand, but he'd already put corn in the feeder, but it was such a pretty afternoon. He sat in a tree stand, and within 15 minutes, that buck walked out. Now, that's a nice 8-point. Well, listen, the next afternoon, look at here. I'm going to get some more pictures here. Here's another picture of it on the truck. He loaded it up tonight. That's a nice buck there, Kyle Pridgeon. All right, this story here, I'll get back to Kyle in a second. This is back at old home place. This is David Gilmore, one of our good viewers here. This is up at a Holmes County family farm over the weekend. Nice buck. Now, there's been some nice bucks brought in this year. I love this picture here. This is up in Mossy Head. The Mossy Head buck. John Cooley, a 7-point behind the house. Weighed 163 pounds. Nice buck right there. Okay, we're going to skip the next picture and go into this. Is the next. Kyle killed this the next day. Kyle Pridgeon, he got an 8-point one day and a 6-point the next day. He's had a good time. Okay, next picture is just my class tying knots, showing how to tie knots and all. And the third girl from the right, those two girls in my class, they signed soccer scholarships yesterday at Mosley High School. Two fine young ladies. That's Elizabeth Vickers on the right and Stephen Marie Mullins on the left. And Stephen Marie has her phone out because her mother called her during the presentation, and the class got a kick out of that. So she almost got in trouble. But we're tying knots, and they really enjoy tying knots. Okay. All right, here's a picture here now. This is Kenny Cullen. Now, this is an Alabama deer. Kenny's son, Brody's in my class, and I've known Kenny a long time. He's a good hunter. They got a good lease up there in Alabama. Good job, Kenny Cullen. All right. Oh, how about another Holmes County buck? This is a 9-point by Jacob Miller. That is a nice buck right there. Holmes County High School. A lot of students up there at Holmes County watch the show. But look at that, how that rack comes back together like that. Nice rack right there. Good job, Jacob Miller. Amanda Whitehead, want to wish her a very happy Valentine's Day. Send this picture in. Amanda, hope you have a great weekend, honey. And thank you for all the nice things you said. All right, that takes care of our pictures. We've got all kinds of other stuff. But I tell you what, we're getting behind the schedule. I've got a list of stuff. I'm not going to get it all to you if I don't. Let me take a break now. We're going to come right back. Welcome back. I hope I said Amanda Whitehead up in Teologia, okay? One of our good viewers and loyal fans up there. Really appreciate you watching, Amanda, and all the good things you do with your life. Now, take a look. Speaking of Calhoun, Liberty County, they're having their National Wild Turkey Federation, their annual banquet over here at the Neal Civic Center called Raymond Russell, and that's going to be March 14th. It'll be 1 month from today, but go ahead and put it on your calendar at 6 o'clock, and there'll be a big crowd there. I hope to get up there myself and get to visit with some of y'all. Are really looking forward to doing that. So it's a fun thing, and it's a really good cause that they do this with. And speaking of fun things, Tuesday night we had a great time out there with Mark and Michael Coward. Had a crowd of about 80-something folks, and I think 75 of them watched Panhandle Outdoors. It was so nice to visit with all of y'all, and it's just really good to see that. And Mark and Michael did a great job, and that's just good stuff. And the food is good. Philomena didn't make a gumbo because she had broken her foot, so she had to get some hot wings and all. But all this stuff was good, and good presentation there. Let me mention, Wilbur Miller is a loyal viewer of Panhandle Outdoors. Wilbur is a retired state trooper, lives up in Lynn Haven. I've shown pictures. He fishes a lot up around Lake Seminole. He's a really good fisherman, camp a lot, big outdoors family. Did a great job as a state trooper for many years. His 14-year-old grandson on January 31st, Mark Miller, was hit by a car on a Saturday afternoon after the boys had been playing baseball up there in Lynn Haven, and they all sort of loaded up and were going to go fishing, and Mark got hit right there on 390. And he's in critical condition. He was sent to Pensacola, and they brought him, yesterday I believe they took him to Jacksonville, and hadn't shown a lot of improvement, and what we covered, something like that is heartbreaking, and it's what an Americana story. You got how many generations I go back where on a Saturday kids out there playing baseball, then say let's go fishing, and let them go fishing. All across America that's happened, and an accident like that happens, and it's just a tragedy. And what we need is all of y'all to pray for Mark Miller's speedy recovery, pray for his family, and it's just heartbreaking. And we just they need your support, need your prayers, and we ask y'all to do that. So we're going to keep in touch with them, and hope things improve and all. So remember them in your prayers, okay? Now, speaking of story, I got a neat story. In 1989, a very good friend of mine, I won't call out his name. I don't want. One of my closest friends, we fished and hunted together for many, many years. His name's Benny, and he had some guns stolen, 1989. But they had his serial numbers and all, and they reported to the Bay County Sheriff's Office, and of course they couldn't find it. It had it was some nice collection of guns, and it was just aggravating, and nothing happened. Well, last week, Benny got a call from the Geneva County Sheriff's Department up in Alabama. And they asked his name. He said, yes, it is. He said, we think we have one of your guns. And they described it to him. He said, it sure is. Well, make a long story short, it's a .243 that he had. And Benny drove up there and got the gun. And the story, what happened, Alabama does roadblocks now. I talked about it when I went up there a couple of weeks ago and hunted outside of Eufaula in Hurtsboro. the game department and the highway patrol would have a roadblock, and they would actually block people off and check license and all. Well, they had a guy on a four-wheeler came up with had an 8-point buck on the back, and he took off, and they chased him down, and they confiscated the deer and all. He didn't have a license. He was just some outlaw, and come to find out, they went and got a search warrant for the house. He had all kind of stolen guns at his house, and they traced. He had filed off his serial number, but law enforcement has a way to get that serial number. They tracked it down and came back to Benny's number, and what a great story to come back. And the gun's in bad shape, but they're going to take it down. Benny's going to take it down to C&G, see if they can sort of recover it and re-blue it and all. But that was 25 years ago, and that gun shows up, and that's a feel-good story there. I'm real happy for everybody. All right, let's take this break, and we'll be right back. All right, welcome back. First, let's take a look at our fishing game times for the day, brought to us by Mark Coward of Edgewater Beach Realty, 832-6000. Our times this morning exactly from 6:05 to 8:05, and this evening from 6:24 to about 8:24. Get an opportunity to get out and do something outdoors. Be a great time to do it. I've got several things to bring up. I'll tell you what I want to do. I've been wanting to do a drawing. We're going to do a drawing for Valentine's. Check out, we're going to give a pink cap to a lady and also a decal, Panhandle Outdoors. So I'm going to draw it. I'm going to keep drawing until I get a girl's name. It may take a minute, but this is sort of spontaneous. All right. Very first one, Lori Jernigan, Bonifay. Lori Jernigan, happy Valentine's Day. You want a free cap and a free decal, come by and pick it up at Fox 28 Studios. Happy Valentine's Day. And guys, make sure you get your Valentine's squared away, and everything is going to be happy. It's going to be Saturday, okay? Quick story on next week's show, two special days, Monday and Tuesday, I want to share with you. Monday, I'm going to have Bobby Smith coming on the show. I've been for years trying to get Bobby. He came on one time 6 years ago, didn't have a lot of time to talk to him, but Bobby's a friend of mine, and to me, he is actually a legendary bass fisherman. I know that's an overused term, but Bobby's caught over 50,000 bass that he has documented, and he's going to come on the show, an amazing story. And you know, if you're a professional bass fisherman, that's not that big of a deal, I guess, if you fish all your life. But Bobby's like a regular Joe like us. He works every day. He's retired now, but an amazing story. You're going to really enjoy Bobby Smith, and he's going to talk about, well, the recent tournament he just won. This is how much he loves bass fishing. He and his grandson put in a White City at a winter trail, and they decided he'd found some spotted bass, which is a small bass, but they're fat this time of year. And he took a chance that he was going to place well in a tournament by catching them instead of fishing for the largemouth in the lower end of the river. They put in a White City on a Saturday morning at 32 degrees. They go 55 miles upriver at 60 miles an hour. It was a 57-minute ride. Of course, he knew everything he was doing. Went to that spot where they found those spotted bass, and they caught about 17 of them, weighed in the top 5. And the spotted bass don't get over, I think the state record is 3.5 pounds. But they got about 5 of them about that size. And they ended up, come back, weighed them in, and they won the tournament and beat all the largemouth bass. So it was really a fascinating story, and that's the kind of fisherman he is. But he'll go where the bass are, and a fascinating person. That's going to be on Monday's show, so tell people over the weekend if they want to hear a great testimonial from a great bass fisherman, tune in Monday morning. And on Tuesday morning, we have a video from Cast and Call. On the second one I'm showing, to me, this is the best hunting video of the year. It is an outstanding video. I loved it. I've seen it I had to watch it a couple of times, and I don't normally do that. And to me, it's the agony and ecstasy of hunting. In that video, you're going to see a 10-year-old boy miss almost, I wouldn't say a buck of a lifetime, his first large buck ever, and he just broken-hearted when he missed it. And then later on, his sister in another hunt gets a nice buck. And that's the highs and lows of hunting, just true raw emotion from kids out in the wild. So that Monday and Tuesday will be an exciting time, and of course the whole week will be, but be sure you watch those two shows too. All right, I've got all kind of names to add, let's see, to the Leonard Dean, I'm adding your name from Ebro, Heather Taylor from Panama City, Linda Dean, Ebro, and Chad Taylor. I got those names there to add. Also, I want to talk about the spring turkey hunt. Is going to be March the 14th, 15th. Now listen, it's got to be a youth 15 years and younger, and the adult, of course, cannot hunt, but the adult can be 18 years or older. Now, you do not need a license unless you're going to be doing the calling. If you're going to be doing the calling, then you're going to need to take a license. They first started this in 2011, I believe, on private land. It was such a hit. They decided to do it all over the state in like 72 wildlife management areas. You might want to call and see if you need a quote or something on that, but you want to, it'd be a great opportunity to take a young person out there. And, you know, the woods this time of year are very good. Let's see. I got other things too. I was going to do a tip of the day. I got time to do it. I had this on the show one time before. This is a shooting stick. Someone asked me if that was my walking cane. I said, not yet. But this shooting stick right here, I've never been fond of these. I thought a little dorky and all, but I got one this year, and I'm hunting more of a ground blind. So my tip of the day is try to get you one of these and just try to experiment with it like I have this year. And I've been very pleased with it. You know, putting your gun on it, and it's real level, and especially in the ground blind and sticking on the ground. A lot of times in a tree stand, you can rest it on there, but you know, it's really steady. So, and it adjusts real well. And this is made by Primos, and I've been really pleased with it. So you're never too old to learn a new trick, I've always thought. So always have an open mind about it, and it makes you a better hunter. Okay, now let's see. I want a couple of other things too. The wade fishing, I've been checking up with Stan Kirkland, and Stan's been doing some wade fishing, trying to stay under the radar, but we're going to be keeping up with him, and I'm gonna get him back on the show and talk about wade fishing and see how he's been doing, if he will. He's not with FWC anymore. Somebody asked him the other day a question. He said, "Listen, I'm out of the loop. I don't know the answer." So that's going to be what's going to happen with Stan. If you tell me to ask him a question, he's going to be out of the loop. So, but anyway, wade fishing is good, and I'm going to show you some next week. One day I'm going to show you some spots you can go wade fishing here in the Panhandle. And there's some really nice places. About to run out of time. As always, I didn't get to cover everything, but I do want to thank you for watching Panhandle Outdoors. We are America's only daily outdoor TV show, and it's just a wonderful experience to do this and to run into folks like I do that enjoy the show. We feel very blessed to do it. So we ask you to always do something good for your fellow man. You have a great day, and God bless.
Thanks for joining us for Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors features hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.